A very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Aisha Mathur, Associate Professor, School of Architecture, Galgotias University, and today I will be taking an introductory lecture on disaster mitigation and management under the module Smart City. So, what is disaster mitigation and management? We all know that most of the people have been affected by natural hazards in some way or the other. And these natural hazards, I'm not talking about man-made hazards, but most of the natural hazards cannot be prevented from occurring. So mitigation planning focuses on reducing the impact of such events when they do occur. Mitigation strategies include actions taken in the form of projects that will substantially reduce or eliminate the risk which have been caused by these disasters. So, disaster mitigation measures are those that eliminate or reduce the impacts and risks of hazards through proactive measures taken before an emergency or a disaster occurs. So talking about the prerequisites, it is always helpful that you have certain idea or general awareness on the disasters which has happened in the past. For example, I will be talking about Kedarnath disaster which happened in 2013. So you should have some basic idea that it was a flood which happened due to cloudburst. And secondly, when we'll talk about second prerequisite we'll talk about is the basic understanding of environmental science. So this environmental science you have all studied in school also and in previous semester some part of it. This will help you understand what phenomena cause the disaster. Then we will talk about the, since we are architects and this disaster mitigation and management is a very versatile field and it is taught in many courses. So, as architects, how will the knowledge of building construction and structures, how will the knowledge of this help us in giving some kind of solutions to disaster management? And lastly, one should be familiar with the importance and the role of NGOs and other private organizations that play in emergency management. So, what will be the objectives of this lecture? First, I will be giving you a brief introduction on disaster. We will talk about the definition of disaster, where the term has come, and important terms which are related to disaster. Then, secondly, we will be talking about the types of disasters. So, we will talk about man-made disasters as well as the natural disasters. And I will be again elaborating and giving examples of each type of disasters. Then, thirdly, we will come down to Indian scenario of disasters. So, how in India the number of disasters have increased over the time and giving a parallel to the global disasters which have happened. And I will be giving you a few examples of the major disasters that have happened in India and what were the casualties and how badly they have affected the country. Then again, in general, we will be talking about the effects of disasters and we will be talking about the characteristics of disasters. Also, the disruptive factors of disaster. And in the consecutive lecture which will be coming, we will again discuss all these things in details and then we will talk about mitigation strategies, also management strategies as well. So the main objective of this lecture is to have a basic understanding of various concepts that are used in disaster management. So there are certain terms such as disaster, hazard, vulnerability, capacity, risk and disaster management cycle. So I will be introducing you all to all these terms in this lecture and in the consecutive lectures. And apart from these terminologies, the lecture will also try to explain various types of disasters, as I mentioned in the previous slide. So these disasters, all these disasters are very old. The human history, it goes years and ages back. But the dramatic increase in the recent years is what is a problem, and it is a worrisome situation on the national and international level. You all must be aware that currently the pandemic COVID-19 is going on. So it is also considered a kind of disaster. So we are all trying to manage it and find mitigation strategies for it. So, over the past decade, the number of natural and man-made disasters have increased considerably. So here, what you can see is that we have a chart which is showing the increasing disasters which between the 1900 and 2009. So this y-axis, it represents the number of disasters, and this x-axis is showing the era. So you will be seeing between 1900 and 1909, the number of disasters is very few. This blue bar is representing the hydrological and meteorological disasters. This red one is representing the geological disasters, and the green bars will show the biological disasters. So you are seeing that it is increasing till 2009, and the maximum number of disasters up till this period till 2009 have been due to the hydrological disasters, and then the biological disasters have increased after 1970, and it is taking a toll in 2009. And then the geological disasters, which basically comprises of your earthquakes. So again, if we were to continue this bar chart, you will see that in 2019, probably this green bar will go up because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is what the global scenario of the disasters is right now. So moving on to the types of disasters. So I have shown here with a various list of types of disasters. So first one is water and climate related disasters. In the previous slide also we were talking about the hydrological and meteorological disasters. So floods and drainage management, a cyclone, for example, Amphan and Fanny, you would have heard about these cyclones, tornadoes and hurricanes, very prominent in the Americas, hailstorms, cloudbursts, we were talking about Kedarnath. Then heat wave and cold wave happens in most part. In India, it happens. Cold wave always happen in the northern region. Then snow avalanches, droughts, sea erosion, thunder and lightning, and tsunami. Of course, you would have been familiar about the tsunami in the Southeast Asia years back. Then the second one is the geological related disasters. It comprises of landslides and mud flows, earthquakes, dam failures or dam burst, minor fires. So right now I'm not talking about man-made disasters or natural disasters. Each of these categories can have both of them, both types of disaster, man-made or natural. But this is just the basic disaster list of basic disaster based on the type of phenomena they are related to. Then third type of phenomena is the chemical, industrial and nuclear related disasters, where you can have chemical and industrial disasters and nuclear disasters. Then the fourth is the accident related disaster. It comprises of forest fires, urban fires, mine floodings, oil spills, some kind of building collapses, and serial bomb blasts, the terrorist attacks which have been happening in the previous decades or in the recent decades, and the festival related disasters, if there's a fire of any sort which has happened in the markets. Then the electrical disasters and fires which happens in the building. Then you have the air, road and rail accidents which happen, the crashes which happen. Those are also considered a part of disasters. The boat capsizing and the village fire. And finally, you have biological related disasters, where we talk about the epidemics which happened. The current one going on, COVID-19 is a part of it, very much part of it. Then you have the pest attacks, which happen on the crops. the kettle epidemics, and you have food poisoning. So, this was about the various types of disasters, and we'll be continuing the discussion on this, a detailed discussion in the upcoming slides. Continuing with the global scenario of disaster, we will see that there is a pie chart which is given here. I will explain it after. I will just give you a few pointers. The first thing, that there was a data taken from 94 to 1998, and the reported disaster was on an average 428 disasters per year. But when you will look at the data from 99 to 2003, this average, it went up to 707 disasters event per year, and there was a huge increase of 60% over the previous years. So, and this scenario, this increase of disasters was mostly in the countries where there was low human development, the developing countries basically, and India is one of them. And we have almost suffered an increase of 142%. So 60% was the worldwide increase, but in the developing countries, this figure was 142%. So you can imagine the kind of problems we were facing due to these disasters. And there were deaths reported during this period of 92 and 2001. Many deaths occurred during this time. And this loss of human life was not only the factor where there was a problem. The problem was also, it also came as to the economic issues. So we almost lost approximately 880 US billion dollars during per year on these disasters. So you can imagine the kind of economic loss we have had due to the disasters. So this pie chart, it shows the amount of disasters, the types of disasters which have occurred during 92 and 2001, and 45% of the disasters were due to the drought and famine. The next were due to the floods. 16% of it were due to the flood, and then the next were the technological disasters. So they comprise of 14% of disasters which happened, and then 12% were due to the seismic activities, the earthquakes, uh, and the 10% were due to the windstorms, and 3% were due to extreme temperature and other factors. So again, these two types, the drought and the flood, they were huge in average, and they basically impacted people worldwide. Talking about the Indian scenario of disasters, you will see that India is no different as compared to the global context. India's geological and climatic conditions, are not very good, and a high degree of socio-economic vulnerability also makes India very disaster prone, one of the most disaster prone countries in the world. For example, the super cyclone of Odisha in 99, and the Gujarat earthquake which happened in 2001, and the recent tsunami in 2004. It has affected millions of people in the country, and it has left behind a heavy trail of loss of life, property, as well as livelihood. So here it is a map of India which is showing the major disaster of India from 1980 to 2010, and you can read it. I will give you the presentation and you can read it, and you will see that from starting from the very top state of Jammu and Kashmir to the very bottom one of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, you will see that various disasters have occurred in India, and what kind of losses they have suffered. So while studying about the impact, we need to be aware about the potential hazards, how, when, and why they are likely to occur, and the problems which may result because of these disasters. So you will see here, talking about the percentage, you will see that in India, 59% of the land mass is susceptible to the seismic hazards. So a lot of places can have earthquakes or landslides. Then you will see that 5% of the total geographical area is prone to floods, and 8% of the total land mass is prone to the cyclones, and 70% of the total cultivable land, I'm not talking about the total land area, land mass of India, but the cultivable land, it is vulnerable to drought. And apart from this, the hilly regions are vulnerable to avalanches in higher areas of Himachal, Uttarakhand, and Uttaranchal. You will find avalanches, landslides, hailstorms, and cloud bursts. And you would be knowing various examples of these disasters also. And it is very important that we should be aware that how we should cope up with their effects, what should be our methodologies, so that their effects can be minimized. And we have seen that there is a huge loss of life, property, and infrastructure, and which a disaster can cause. So we will understand in the upcoming slides that what a disaster is. So now we will move on to the theoretical part. We'll start discussing about the definitions. So first and primarily, we'll discuss what is the disaster. So the term disaster, it owes its origin to the French word called désastre, which is a combination of two words. First is you will see des, which means bad, and then ester, which means a star. So therefore it is known as a bad or an evil star. So this was the origination of the word disaster. Then if you will go by the definition in the dictionary, you will see that a disaster can be defined as a serious disruption in the functioning of the community or a society, causing widespread material, economic, social, or environmental losses which exceed the ability of the affected society to cope up with its own resources. So it is very clear in the definition only that it affects the social and environmental and economic condition of the society, and it causes a huge problem for the people there. And a disaster is a result from the combination of hazard, vulnerability, and insufficient capacity or measure to reduce the potential chances of risk. So this again, all these terms, hazard, vulnerability, capacity, and risk, we will be discussing in the next lecture. We will be more clear there. Then disaster happens when the hazard impacts the vulnerable population and causes damage, casualties, and disruption. So the WHO has given a definition for disaster, and it says that disaster is any occurrence that causes damage, ecological disruption, loss of human life, or deterioration of health and health services on a scale sufficient to warrant an extraordinary response from outside the affected community or an area. So you basically need assistance from outside of the affected area. You're not able to manage what the problem has come. So that is the scale. When the scale is that high, that is when you call it a disaster. So any hazard, whether it is a flood, earthquake, or cyclone, which is triggering an event along with greater vulnerability, would lead to a disaster, causing greater loss to life and property. So you will see that if an earthquake which occurs in a desert, which is not being populated, there is no population around, it will not be considered as a disaster, no matter how strong it is in magnitude, because there is no loss of human life or economic in terms of property or infrastructure. So only when the hazard is combined with vulnerability, uh, which we talked about, it is vulnerability is inadequate access to the resources and to sick people and lack of awareness. Only when the hazard is combined with the vulnerability, it will lead to a disaster. So an earthquake is disastrous if you were talking about the earlier example about an earthquake in the desert. So as compared to the earthquake which happens in a city where people are there, their houses are there, their livelihood is there, and when it happens in that city, then only it will cause disaster. Thus, disaster occurs only when hazard and vulnerability meets. And it should also be noted that the greater the capacity of the individual or a community and environment is to face these disasters, the impact of the hazard reduces. So, if you are well equipped and if you are well aware and you are prepared for the disaster, that means you have greater capacity. So, the effect of disaster will be less. Therefore, we need to understand the three major components, namely hazard, vulnerability, and capacity, with suitable examples to have a basic understanding of disaster management. Here you can see that host factors are given such as age, immunization status, degree of mobility, emotional stability. So if all these things are stronger, then you are less vulnerable to the impact of any hazard. And the environmental factors such as physical factors, chemical factors, biological, social, and psychological factors, they are also very important while considering the vulnerability or hazard or disaster in an area. So coming to the last part of the lecture, what are the effects, factors and characteristics of disasters? So I've just listed down these points here about the effects and characteristics and disruptive factors of disasters, but we will be discussing them more in detail when we will discuss about the examples. So the first effect of disaster is the population displacement. Then second is injury or death. Third is risk of epidemic or diseases, damage to infrastructure, psychological problems, food shortage, socio-economical losses, and shortage of drugs and medical supplies. So all these are the effects of disaster. Then what are the characteristics of disaster? The first one is the size and scope. Second one is its unpredictable nature, and third one is the unfamiliar consequences of the disasters, and the fourth one is the speed and urgency, because disasters, they almost come uncalled for. You don't get any kind of warnings. In most of the cases we are unable to get any kind of warnings. And the last thing is the threat which it gives to the society and the people living there. Then what are the disruptive factors of disaster? The first one is the death and destruction. Second is the loss of basic amenities. Third is the disruption of emergency services. Fourth is destruction of roads and modes of communication. And the fifth one is disorganization in response services. So, when we will, in the consecutive lectures, we will discuss all these factors with examples, like how they have caused these problems. So as an assignment for this subject, you will all have to prepare a case study on any large scale disaster. It can be national or international, and then you will, on the very first page, you will make incident profiling. So on the A4, you will first write that what kind of incident it was, and secondly, when did it happen, the date and time of the occurrence, and where did it happen? Did it happen in one country, one city, or multiple cities or multiple countries? You will mention all those details. Then why did it happen? We have discussed about the types of incidents. So you will write down whether it was man-made or it was a natural disaster, whether it was hydrological disaster or it was seismic disaster. So you will you will give the cause of the incident here. Then next point will be that which all population was affected and which all agencies were there which came in to help and helped in evacuation and in relief measures. And lastly, and how was the response carried out? What was the plan of action? What was the strategies which were, taken up by the countries or by the city or state level? So everything you will basically make a report on this. Then also you will have to secondly make a list of the organization and bodies which are working on disaster management. So one can be a list of national bodies in India which we have, and then secondly you will make a list of international bodies on disaster management. I hope with today's lecture you are very clear with the basic theoretical aspects of disaster, the types of disaster, and you have seen some examples also. In the upcoming lectures, we will be discussing about different aims and policies, mitigation strategies, and the response which happens during the time, and what are the strategies that can be helpful in dealing with disasters. Thank you so much.